welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Vlogmas. We are already starting day 3. I already started to feel yesterday that days will literally just fly by. How fast you are already into the new year in 2023. I always like to start my day with my personal development technique, and I thought about sharing with you today some of my favorite spiritual practices that I do on a regular basis that help me stay on top, that help me get this spiritual mental hygiene every single day. And hopefully it will inspire you as well to find your new flow into the new year and take what feels best for you, what will give you the best results. First things first, on the list I will unpack my third day of advent calendar and see the gift for today. Also, I will share with you the third day of our gratitude challenge that we do together. I will give you the instructions on what to do today with this challenge and how to apply it in your life. I already have here my advent calendar, so I will just unwrap it very fast. Hydrate, of course. Number 3 on the list. Okay, so this one is pretty up here, the number 3. This one today is clean matcha green. Okay, so let's see. It's again in German, which is not my cup of tea. Okay. Oh, basically today's tea, it says okay, so it has also an English translation. So it has some lemony green tea with nettle and fennel. So this is the combination for today. I will drink it a little bit later because I just had my tea a little bit earlier, my morning tea, my energy tea. Back to our challenge, you can take your notebook, you can take a piece of paper. I will give you the instructions. I just did my exercise. So today we're going to go a little bit deeper into certain specific areas of our lives, and today's task is for you to find the 3 most important relationships in your life right now. About the 3 people that maybe you're most into contact with on a day-to-day basis, or the 3 people that are most important to you. Write 5 things that you like about them. Write 5 things that you are grateful for because they are in your life. The idea behind this technique, when you think about your relationship, to sprinkle a lot of gratitude into those relationships. I had oftentimes moments when I was just not feeling grateful for people in my life, and I was complaining about friends, about how they act, how they treat me, how I am not treated how I wanted. I was never expressing it anyway. I was just mostly focusing on what they do wrong. All of us have our bad side, and all of us also have our good side, or the good things that we bring into someone else's life. So this is an exercise to help you look into the good part of people, into the good things that they brought. Technique is especially helpful in this moment if, for example, you have someone who's very important to you, but your relationship with this someone is tensioned at this moment. But focusing on what they bring positively in your life will help tremendously improve your relationship with them. And I can guarantee you, over the next few days or weeks, you will hear from them, and you will hear very beautiful things, and you will be surprised. This is today's technique. Don't forget also about your stone or your little symbol, to carry it with you and be grateful whenever you see the symbol, thinking about something that is a blessing in your life, something that brings something positive, something that makes you feel good or happy. Now for the second part of the video, I promised that I will share with you some of my favorite spiritual techniques that help me on a day-to-day basis to stay as balanced as possible, face the day, to face the week, to face the challenges, and to stay in as much as possible of a positive mindset. Our interior influences the exterior more than the opposite. Not so much about what happens to us, it's really about just how we perceive the problem, how we perceive the situation that happened to us, and what our thoughts are about the specific things. By the way, let me know in a comment at the end of this video which is your favorite one and which one you will try over the next period, or you will take with you in the next. Let's get straight to this. The number 1 tool that I use probably the most on a day-to-day basis is journaling. Yes, I put it into a spiritual practice. I put it into this personal development tools area because it really is so helpful to put your thoughts on paper, black on white, and do like a mental declutter. Put everything that comes into my mind on paper. Just put sentences, even if it doesn't make sense. As you go through the process and you liberate your mind of this, you can usually, by the way, do it in the morning, you will notice that at some point some things start to come up, some problems that are not solved, some things that you maybe thought about them a little bit longer than you should, or things that bother you, and you naturally start to put them down on paper. You can also do it, of course, in the exact moment when something triggers you, when something is very unpleasant, when the feeling is super intense. And it's also a way of releasing these emotions from your mind, from your body. I promise you that this is a very powerful tool, and especially if you do it consistently and you look over the challenges that you overcame, over the problems that you had, over the situations, it will be of great help even for number 2 is a tool that I did from time to time, and I started recently to do it a little bit more again. And this technique is scripting. So the trick with this letter is to actually write everything that you want to achieve, like 4 or 5 things, thanking the universe or God or any higher power or someone that you admire, thanking in advance as if you already have this thing in your life. So for example, one of the things that I wrote and manifested: thank you so much for my new phone. I have so much fun creating videos and content. When I wrote this letter, it was February 2021, and at the end of that year, I did receive an upgraded phone, which I started to use for creating better content and videos. Same it was, for example, with thank you so much for finishing my dental treatment. It was easy, it was less stressful, and I'm in love with my smile. And again, at the end of the year, this treatment was finally finished. A lot of things you can just refer to, areas where you would like some improvements, but it's a super powerful technique. You can just read the letter out loud to you in the morning or in the evening, and maybe do like a dance or put like a super powerful music in the background and read it with the enthusiasm as if you're already reading the most exciting story of your life. Do it for at least 30 days and you will see how things start to shift in your life. Number 3 on my list of personal development / spiritual practices that I do on a daily basis that help me stay in a very high vibe is using the Ho'oponopono technique. What is this? You're wondering. This is a weird name. If you're hearing this for the first time, this is a very powerful Hawaiian technique. Helps you clear the memories, the limiting beliefs that you have around subjects in your life, and helps you, by clearing this, receive the inspiration from divine to take action in the right direction, bring you closer to your goals and to a more fulfilled life. So this is a very brief explanation of what this technique is. I do recommend you to, however, read more on the subject because it's super interesting, but I have been practicing it almost every single day over the last month, and I use this technique over the years. The idea is to say these 4 phrases, which are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That's it, and that's already starting the process of clearing the limiting beliefs, of clearing the memories that keep replaying, the bad memories, the bad behaviors that you keep having in your life. I personally like to do this technique as I'm walking. For example, when I'm going to my German classes in the evening, it's a 20-30 minutes walk, and I like to just say these 4 phrases as I'm walking because I'm also engaging my body, so it's a little bit distracting my mind. However, it's of course a technique that doesn't have results like this. It takes a lot of practice, it takes time to see results, but the first effect that you will see, however, and this I think is the biggest achievement with this technique, is that you will start to feel pretty fast, much lighter, more calmer, more at peace with how things are. From this state of peacefulness, you already start to feel more calm. You don't, for example, blame yourself or think about all the bad situations that you have right now in your life. And if you continue to do it, at some point in this peacefulness, you will start to receive some better ideas, some other perspectives on the problems that you have. Last but not least, among my spiritual practices or mental practices, this is by far, I think, maybe I would say my favorite, but journaling is also a very big favorite of mine. But I use these two on a daily basis, and I'm talking about tapping, so EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. I only started to really do it continuously this year because I was looking for ways to release trauma from my body. How do I know that I had trauma in my body? It's because I was overreacting to things that were not that desperate, and I was overreacting as if a destructive thing would happen in that moment, in that situation. My body was so much taken over by this trauma that I could no longer think clearly. There were certain situations when I was crying like uncontrollably. I was having anxiety, I was having sometimes small panic attacks. Oh, this is not so easy to talk about because it's a subject that affected me a lot over this year, especially because it's a subject that kind of increased in intensity over the last 2 years, and that's when I started to take a closer look to EFT. Now, why is tapping so effective and how is it actually helping you? Because there's a lot of science behind it, and it's not just woo-woo things to calm your body, calm your mind. It's actually combining two very important aspects. EFT is about tapping on certain points on your body, on your face, certain points that are meridians, certain energetical points in your body that calm your nervous system. So simply tapping there in a moment when you are stressed, it's already going to bring more calmness into your life. Whenever I do a round of tapping or more rounds of tapping, my body shows immediate signs of release, like yawning, like small tears coming out, not actually crying, but tears. Body's releasing the stress. I'm already feeling dizzy, or I cannot focus on the subject that I was thinking about anymore. So these are signs that it's actually helping and that it has effect. On the other hand, as you tap on the certain points, you also say affirmations. Usually start by stating what the problem is. So right now I'm feeling like this, right now I'm feeling and I have this emotions in regards to this situation. And then you do the round of tapping and you try to emphasize even more the situation, because the more you grow the intensity of this negative emotion, the more you will release. After you do some rounds of emphasizing the negative, you start to rewire. So here comes the NLP part, where you start to rewire your neural paths in your brain, and you start to say affirmations or phrases as how you would want your things and your life to be. So for example, you start by saying, I'm so scared, I don't have money, I'm so scared in this situation, it doesn't feel safe. And then you start to rewire, but maybe, just maybe, things just always work out, things have always worked out, try to go with facts. There are many examples around me that you can make it, there are many opportunities, I would just be open to see them. And you do this round of tapping or more rounds of rewriting your thoughts. Absolutely in love with this technique. I started to do a lot of tapping with Brad Yates. I watch his YouTube videos and I definitely recommend it to you as well. I also love Melanie Moore's videos because they kind of go on subjects that are a little bit more unusual, and it's a lot of fun in the way that she's experimenting with tapping. There are definitely a lot of resources out there and you can try for yourself, experiment with different subjects. That's why I like to combine journaling with tapping, because usually when I start to journal, I identify more clearly what the emotion is that I want to work on or what is bothering me, like if it's frustration or if it's disappointment or worry or something else. And then I go on YouTube and I watch a specific video on this topic about 4 tappings, how to clear fear of being seen or fear of success. And then I do this tapping round on this emotion. I talk a lot about spirituality and mental practices, and these are personally the things that I do on a daily basis, and I recommend to anyone who wants to improve their situation or anyone who wants to achieve a higher state or higher vibration. Thank you so much for being here, and see you tomorrow with a new episode.